The people truly have no idea what's coming. All praises, honor, glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, Elder Bishop, the Great Millstone, who rule well. Peace and blessings to you fellow brothers pushing out this word in truth and sincerity. Chinak, coming back with another lesson through the Spirit and power. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. Okay, and this is going to be a in-transit lesson while I'm driving. I'm gonna try to bring out a couple of scriptures, but it's nighttime, and I'm not gonna bring out too many scriptures. I'll quote some scriptures. This shouldn't be too long. I pray the lesson's edifying. Just kind of meditating on what I wanted to go in today, and what I wanted to speak about, see what the Lord was going to feed me. So this is really kind of, me meditating on the whole day about a couple of things that I wanted to tap into, and just really just turned on the recorder because nothing was really set in stone. So this kind of like turned on the recorder, but I did have kind of a title or somewhat a direction I wanted to go. As I was just kind of thinking about a lot of things, pertaining to prophecy. What is that, Sirach 39? It talks about, being occupied in prophecy. This is where our mind is at. We're constantly meditating on the times that we're in. 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter, speaks on measure thou the time diligently in itself. Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, speaks about standing upon thy watch. Okay, Yahushua told us to pray that you enter not into temptation, for the spirit is willing, but the watch as well as pray. There we go. Watch as well as pray. Okay, so we're constantly watching, we're constantly praying, we're constantly going to articles, or we're constantly watching videos. You might watch some folly, but the main thing that you're watching, you might watch a music video or something like, or a sports. It's not unlawful, but that's not what our mind is occupied in or preoccupied in. Our mind is occupied on the prophecies and the returning of Yahushai. Okay, what mindset that we should be in? Well, in Peter's it says, "What manner of man shall you be in all holy conversation and godliness?" So as I was just kind of meditating on a couple of things from me, watching different videos, and you have different economists and analysts and individuals that professors. They'll predict certain things, and they'll basically tell you in their mind through their study, geopolitically what's going to happen, financially what's going to happen, economically what's going to happen, right? And they'll break certain things down, and certain things they might be right on, but their analysis on the bigger picture, they fall very short. They fall very short, okay? Because this word, the secrets, okay? The secrets of the Most High has been given to His servants, the prophets. All right? So they actually don't know what's going on. I mean, you have a lot of smart, so-called intellectual people, but they truly don't. Number one, they don't accept the doctrine that we speak, and if what we're saying is right, they're done. So of course they're not going to adhere to what we're saying. So this precept popped into my mind. We're going to build off this precept. I mean, we can start up, but we're going to just go to the point. And then I'm going to get this definition here for this word here. Let me just go right into it, and then we'll just go from there. This is 2nd Ezra 13 and 29. Behold, the days come. So this is speaking about something that's actually coming in the future. All right, the days come, okay, when the Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. All right, that's the great deliverance that we know and believe, all right, through faith, which is going to fall upon the elect, starting here in America, the 1/3. Okay, then of course, the Most High is going to gather the rest of the elect, the remnant, from the four corners of the earth. You got, was it Isaiah 11:11? The Lord will send his hand back again a second time. Right? So we know the Lord is going to do that. But here in America, which is Babylon the Great, spiritual Egypt, spiritual Sodom, our spiritual Edom, Idumea, right? We know that there's going to be a great deliverance. Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, it speaks about our strange salvation. Okay? And I might get that because it's kind of going into the point. How the people are going to be taken by surprise. They truly don't, with all their technology, with all their analysis, with all the great minds that are coming together, they truly don't know what's getting ready to happen. Everything is uncertain. Even the wicked elite, they're uncertain. Okay? The Most High will begin to deliver them that are upon the earth. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. See? The astonishment. Now I want to get the word astonishment. I'm just going to look it up. I'm just going to Google it. Okay. I'm just going to Google this word. Bear with me. Give me a second. Just sipping some ginger tea for digestion. Digestion, circulation, okay? Alright. Ooh, look at that. Alright, let's type astonishment. Alright, in just the Google, right? In the definition, the first definition it gave me, I think it only gave me one, is great surprise. So let's inject this definition. It's a little bit more simpler, all right, in that verse. 2 Ezra 13:30. And he shall come to the astonishment, or he shall come to the great surprise of them that dwell on the earth. Because who, even within the so-called Christian community, right? Is the Christian as a whole, is the Christian community searching or waiting, hastening the day of the return of the Lord? You know, you might have some people say it in, you know, in conversation, or more so like, you know, within the churches, or not even within the churches. They don't really speak about the coming of the Lord. You know, certain videos on YouTube, on the comment board, you might have Christians say something like that. Jesus is coming. But they don't even understand what that really entails. And the scriptures speak about that. What is that? Woe to those who desire, I'm just vaguely paraphrasing. Woe to those who desire the day of the Lord, for what end is it unto you? Alright, for the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Yeah, because you have to be of a certain spirit, of a certain hope, to maybe Lord's will make it. We're still in fear, and we're doing the work. We know who we worship. We know the characteristics of the Heavenly Father. The Lord, He revealed Himself unto us, and we are afraid. How much more these anti-Christians would just throw that out there, and they don't have the fear of the Lord. Neither do they do the will of the Heavenly Father on the right-hand side. Okay, they are doing the will, but it's not the righteous will of the Lord. They're on the other side. Okay, so there's going to be a great surprise. This is how the Lord is going to return. Because within all these geopolitical moves and all these strategies of how countries are overtaking each other, how Russia's plotting against America, how China's plotting against America, right? Well, in Habakkuk, it talks, not Habakkuk, but Obadiah, right? And you know, anybody want to throw some, the precepts out there that I'm speaking, again, because I'm not going to go to each one just because, I'm driving and a little dark. I'll hit some of them. But in Obadiah, it says that all the men of thy confederacy have deceived thee. So there's a big plot and scheme unbeknownst to Babylon the Great, in which these other nations are going to have the advantage over them and destroy Babylon the Great according to the precepts, according to the prophecies, according to the word of the Lord. And that's going to play out in different geopolitical moves, different military strategies, right? And the different gods that they pray to, that they're going to have so-called success of defeating the big bad bully on the block. All right, and within their mind, they're doing these things strategically through their own power. Okay, not understanding that it's the what is it? Proverbs 21:1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. Right, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Okay, so it's really the Heavenly Father that's controlling all these things. And when you listen to these geopolitical strategists, these retired military colonels and weapons inspectors and different journalists, throw out to that one brother, I believe Judah, I was trying to look for that word. It was journalists. These different well-respected journalists and analysts and intellectuals and futurists, and even these insiders, even the insiders, they have their own opinion of what's going to happen, but they're not in control. So this is why Yahweh Shai, in the midst of all this, and within their plans, they're not accounting for Yahweh Shai really to return. Okay, you could argue that some are planning behind the scenes, which we know there's going to be a war in heaven. So the Lord is putting the thought in their mind, you know, to be prepared for some type of extraterrestrial encounter, which that's going to happen. But for the most part, this is going to come as this is going to come as an astonishment. Very few people are going to know actually what's happening. Okay, it's going to be a great surprise. Okay, let me see. Yeah, let me read verse 31 back in 2nd Ezra 13. And one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another, and one realm against another. See, even though they have movies of so-called aliens, you know, coming into this realm and fighting against, you know, the American people. Oh, I was, you know, with the Apostle Ryan the other day, and we were just, you know, chopping it up, and we just put on, he put on Transformers, and I don't know which one it was. We watched a little bit of it, but it was like so-called alien Transformers coming into the Earth, and Esau fight against the Transformers, and stealing the technology of the so-called alien race Transformers, and destroying some of them. I didn't watch the whole movie, but the gist of it, right? Esau fighting against the so-called alien invasion, and you have to ask yourself again, why do Esau put these predictive programming in the mind of the people of a so-called outer world race coming into America, and they should all, you know, fight against the so-called aliens? Well, they're not aliens, they're the angels. But headed by the angels is who? Yahweh Shai. Okay, and this, well, let me get Revelation. All right, Revelation 1. I've been bringing this out a lot. All right. Yahweh Shai, because say the people believe, all right, so-called Jesus is coming. They don't know that he's coming in a chariot, what they will call a UFO, and neither do they accept that he is coming as a so-called black man. And neither do they accept that he's coming to destroy the majority of the people down here. He's not coming to, you know, before I get that, let me get Revelation 19. He's not coming here to pat Esau on the back and say, well done, good and faithful servant. He's not coming here to stop, stop the fight. Well, he is coming to stop all the fighting, but he's not coming here to stop the fighting and sit everybody down and, you know, get the top of Esau and the top of Moab and the top of all these different Arabs and sit down at the table with them and reason with them. Now, he ain't coming to do none of that. I'm gonna read you what he's coming to do, okay? Because we understand that all these nations are going to be under Yahweh's feet, in which the Lord said, hey, I will give thee the heathen for thy possession. The same promise the Lord gave, the Father gave Yahweh. Basically the heathen being your possession. Yahweh told his servants, his disciples, hey, look, the same thing I got from my Father, I'm going to give to you. So that inheritance is going to be divvied up. And that includes rulership. That includes us ruling over the other nations and having them under our feet, destroying their armies. Okay? Revelation 19. Okay? And 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. This is Yahweh Shai. Okay? The white horse is representing the chariot. All right? And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true. Yeah, a title of Yahweh Shai. Because Yahweh Shai said he's going to come back. So at that time, he's like, see, I wasn't lying. I wasn't lying. I'm coming to get you. All right, there's certain people on the earth, I'm speaking about the elect of the nation of Yahshua, that are expecting, like our expectation is for Yahweh Shai to come and deliver us. This is what we're just here waiting for this to manifest. Okay? And while we're waiting here, we're being occupied. We have an occupation, we have a work to do. We have to speak of these things. Okay, and let this whole world know these are the events that are getting ready to take place. Whether you like it, believe it or not. Okay, you don't have to believe it. All right, the truth is the truth. You don't have to believe the truth. But regardless of what you believe or not, the reality of the matter is what we're saying through the Holy Spirit is coming to pass. And Yahweh Shai, who's faithful and true, will show up and the people will see him. But it's going to be a big surprise, or what astonishment. They're not counting for this actually to happen. Even the elites, they're going to run in their bunkers. Okay, everybody is going to run and hide. Why? Because the Lord who's coming back is coming back to destroy you. Okay? It says, and in righteousness, see, he does judge and make war. So yeah, war, you can wage a righteous war. And see, the war that is getting ready to take place are the World War III, which we're already in World War III. Okay? Anybody can tell you that. A blind man can tell you that. We're already in World War III. Just the nuclear missiles have not flown off yet. Now, I believe that there's probably going to be, a missile or two that's going to be let off. Maybe a small yield nuclear missile. Could be in Russia, could be in Ukraine, could be somewhere, Iran. That's going to, really speed up prophecy, but it's not going to be the end. Okay? But it's going to shake up this world. All right? A low yield nuclear missile, maybe 1 million people died, 2 million people died. Okay? Which is going to speed up more draconian police state. Okay? Give me a second. All right? Because if the Lord would just allow Esau and other nations to duke it out, we're dealing with weapons that can destroy the world. Okay? So Yahweh Shai is going to come in the midst of that to stop all that bullshit. Okay? His eyes were as flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. Right? Why were there many crowns? Well, tell you his eyes will be red with wine. the white of his eyes. All right, he's coming back angry, but he had many crowns because he basically took down all the armies of these different nations. Like, for example, Putin is a great king. He's a great president, or he's really a king, right, of Russia. But why is he a great king of Russia? Because he has the military backing him. America is Trump is a great king. America is a great empire. Why? Because they have a military to back them. Okay? Nigeria is not a great empire. They have a rinky-dink army, a ragtag army. They are of no threat to any nation. Okay? They don't hold any weight geopolitically, militarily, economically. Okay? They don't hold any weight, but America holds weight. Iran has what's it called? America just doesn't go into Iran now. The whole show with bombing, those are escalation, because a war, it's inevitable that a war has to happen. Strategically, Iran is situated in a place to where if you control that area, you control pretty much the flow of energy throughout the whole earth. All right, so these are like, land grabs. You want to take over these parts of the earth. Okay, because the American empire is dying. Okay, so the many crowns were the armies of the other nations being destroyed, and Yahushua taking credit for that. Now, and now he is over all these other nations. Because when you take down a nation, that means you over that nation. Now that nation got to do what you told him to do. And he had a name written that no man knew but himself. But let me just go. Oh, let me read 13. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High. And why was his vesture dipped in blood? Well, you read, was that Isaiah 63? Who is this that cometh with dyed garments from Basra? Okay. Meaning, when Yahushua come, right? He's coming to finish the war. He's coming to take everybody down. He's coming to destroy a lot of people. He's going to command the angels to take out all these. Like you have, if you go on a war with a nation, you have, okay, how are we going to destroy this nation? We got to hit this military target. We got to hit this water and processing plant. We got to hit these different bases. We got to get these command posts. So the angels already have the instruction where to hit. All right, and they're going to be successful. And none of the weapons that these other nations have, regardless of how advanced they believe that they are, none of them will be successful. It's really going to be futile. Revelation 1 and 7. I'm going to close it here. Revelation 1 and 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. See? And they also which pierced him, which is going into reincarnation. The Roman the Roman centurions that pierced him back then when he was getting on the cross. They're going to more than likely be in one of these American Air Forces. Because the 5 strongest air forces in the world, number 1 is, of course, the United States Air Force. Number 2 is the Navy Air Force. Number 3 is Russia. Number 4 is the Army, and I believe then it's basically the top 5 strongest air forces in the world. The 4 out of the 5 are American. Okay, so you're gonna have them 2 centurions that pierce Yahushua. They're gonna be in one of them jets. They're gonna see Yahushua, and it's gonna come to their mind what they did. All right, the Lord gonna get his vengeance upon their ass. He gonna burn them up. Okay. And they also which pierced him, and all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him, even so. Amen. Why are they going to wail? All right, because Yahushua is not coming to to hug him. He's not coming to pat him on the back. He's not coming to say, God, I loved you. See, children, I loved you. I love everybody. He's not coming to do that. He's coming to take you down. He's coming to take the powers down in their militaries. And you people are gonna be the sacrifice. You're the sacrifice here in Basra. Okay? So pretty much there's certain things that they'll get right, you know, because there's certain, moves that different nations have to take, and it only makes sense. Okay, this is going to happen. Crashes are going to happen. Da da da. But one thing they don't account for is Yahweh Shai, and we're letting you know that the prophecies trump everything. Okay, and really all their analysts, okay, all their how I'll say, all their what's the word? Damn. Basically all their critiques of what's going to happen, all their thoughts or wishes of what's going to happen. I got a lack of words. Salakia. The prophecy is going to trump all that, and some of those things actually fall into prophecy. What they're saying, yeah, like these things are going to happen. Okay, that's where everything is moving towards. But we're saying that we're tying everything directly back to prophecy. All right, and showing you that the words of this book is faithful and true. So I'm gonna close it there. Until next time, shalom to the elect.